JK.
What was your microphone? I don't remember.
It's the Bluebird. But I always complain, oh, my audio quality sounds weird. I don't think the microphone matches my voice. I think it boosts bass, and that's like most of what my voice is.
Are you going into do you have a Focusrite?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Focusrite doesn't have a EQ on it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Not much EQ on those bad boys. Emphasis on the bad. Boom. Take that, Focusrite.
Dang.
JK. They're fine.
Grant, I think you mean to say JJK.
JJK. It's fine.
After last week's Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm pleasantly appeased.
Yes, I'm right there
this
with
is
you.
Like a cleaner wrap-up
Like,
chapter.
it's a very just fine 6 to 7 out of 10 wrap up kind of chapter.
Yeah. Like I felt perfectly okay with this one, basically. It feels very much transitional chapter. Like, if I didn't know this was ending, this would be me going like, oh, this is the chapter where we're kind of setting up the next arc, maybe, where we're going to get it started or something.
Yes, and I got a whole gaggle of theories for that last little thing, but this it's just we're just gonna do Jujutsu Kaisen and Kagurabachi this week. We're gonna get those, and then we're gone.
Yes,
forever.
Pushing back the next section of Don to Don. Life's a little busy right now here at Good Times HQ. So we're just gonna do our weekly wrap up this week, and
we're all busy. I can't read.
If I could read, if I could get like a nice audiobook narration of a manga and they describe the little pictures and everything, that'd be fun. Maybe that's something we could do.
Yeah,
so
movies get those descriptive.
Yeah, the descriptive tracks.
Descriptive audio.
So,
I mean, we could do that, but we could also put. Okay, so here we go. This is how we definitely get copyright struck and all the videos taken down.
Yeah.
But we read through. We do audiobooks of mangas, but we just have the picture of the panel on the video as we're describing it. So if you really want to see it, all you got to do is just quickly, unlock your phone and glance at the screen real quick.
Wow.
And then you can go back to,
that's definitely
driving.
Going to be taken down if it gets any more than 2 views. like the thing I think about with copyright or fair use is I know a lot of countries see it differently, including the US, but I always thought it's kind of fair game if it's not replacing the original media.
Yeah.
If you can watch this in place of the original
This is literally
media,
there to do that.
Yeah. Because I think that's why Japan cracks down so hard on copyright, is because they have a lot of channels like that just summarize what happens, and that way you never have to see the movie or read the manga or watch the anime.
Yeah, and you know what? I think those channels are onto something, because I don't got time to read and do all this.
Because I ain't reading this shit.
I ain't reading any of this shit. But I am reading this chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I think I agree with everybody else that this is infinitely better than the last one. Holy cow! But I mean, that's
it did not make me
bar.
upset last time.
I felt a little validated seeing basically everybody in the comment section going, "No, this sucks." Thank you, because I was really nervous.
Yeah, I feel like the most rousing defense of last week's chapter was very it was okay.
It's
okay
kind of interesting
chapter.
to hear that. Yeah, that's the best you can get. It's even if they didn't understand it, they thought, oh, at least they're explaining something. It's not just dead space. They're just not sitting silently in a room.
The most charitable interpretation I saw was fine as a chapter, awful as one of the last 5. To which I would go, that's, yes, we agree. But this one, I think, far more importantly for us, gets into more character stuff. We have Fushiguro at the gravesite of his now dead sister, which I thought was a good wrap up for that. He's not sitting here completely morose and depressed like I figured he would be. We kind of get a little moving on to some other stuff with it, which I appreciate. Not lingering on this too long. It feels like
it's just a nice confirmation that what he got from that fight with Sukuna stuck. You know? It's just a nice affirmation of that.
Going to some lore thingies. Tengen's absorbed vestiges were left in Sukuna's remains, which were
this part kind of threw me.
Sukuna ate Tengen, and then when Sukuna turned into a pile of goo after being released from Fushiguro, they searched that goo and they found Tengen's remains. Right?
I think.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And so then we are putting that in a little hidey hole. And so Tengen's barrier is still around Japan because we have the little hidey hole with Sukuna's / Tengen's now double remains.
See, this feels like I don't like this because it makes Tengen feel like, I feel like when he was introduced, it was like a very like, we need to keep him alive. Like if he dies, all of this stuff is gonna fall apart, and like everything we're standing on is gonna crumble.
Our society is going to collapse if we don't do
like
this.
it felt very important to keep him alive.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, well, you know, he died, but his remains still basically keep the barrier up. Everything's fine. Like, it's just like, what? So did we not? Why were we so worried about him then?
I completely agree with you, because this seems like the hand-wavy explanation for a thing that you said mattered versus the other shit that you spent an entire chapter explaining.
We had a whole
chapter's
chapter going into why it was totally cool that Tengen died, and here's how we're going to make sure that this makes sense. Like that, I feel like I could have actually taken, but this felt like so just like no. Like I don't know like behind the scenes what's going on, but that felt like a setup for something to come later, and now it's just we're kind of going like, no, it's cool, don't worry. Yeah,
I was ready for this to be like a loose thread, or like something,
like the 11th hour problem.
Like something was going to happen about this. I was convinced that after like the Sukuna fight, we'd have to do a last chapter doing that, but then clearly that didn't happen. So I'm like, okay, sure, that's fine, but it does feel like a kind of a sour note to end up that what was half of that pre-culling game arc of protecting Tengen is just, it's fine. Okay.
It does feel like also a complaint I had about the My Hero thing. It does feel like kind of nothing's changed if that's the case, where okay, we've got Tengen with the barrier still, even if it's just his dead body. All right.
Yeah.
Back to the usual.
Well, the one change that I do like to see, well, kind of right underneath it, where I can't remember her name, the girl with the scar on her face.
Yes.
Like, hey,
Fancy girl.
I'll set up a countermeasure for this barrier with a new barrier.
Yeah.
And new principal guitar guy is like, hey, don't rush it. You're still young. And throughout all of Jujutsu Kaisen, they've been like, hey, let the adults, we adults feel bad because the kids are doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just like, hey, we need to step up and let the adults do shit.
Yeah.
The adults are going to do stuff.
Completely. Like this, I loved this here with him going like, nah, it'll be fine. Like I appreciated that. That follow-up is good. And
yeah. And then we
got become new Tengen.
And these guys who I thought were gonna come back in the fight.
But they're chill. Maki's like, hey, we're culling games over. Yap.
Probably gonna have to kill all the lingering like sorcerers who got brought back to life and all that stuff. So be ready for that. You can try to hide out as a favor. I'll tell you where you can hide.
Yeah, and saying like you can go to Tokyo because Tokyo's still off limits, but there'll probably be more curses in Tokyo. And Sword Guy's like, hey, sure, I'll go just cut up dudes in Tokyo. Why not? I like that they also hand-wavingly go, and then we'll have to get the people that were abducted by the American military.
We're also gonna rescue all those people the Americans kidnapped. We'll figure that one out later. Don't worry.
Don't worry about that. Like fine. I like these guys getting a nod. They were fun.
Yeah, this is a cute resolution for these guys, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Sumo guy going like, oh, sumoing curses is so cringe.
And Sword Guy basically being like, hey, I know that probably at some point they're going to send people to hunt me down. I want you to be one of them, Maki.
Yeah. Then we get follow-up
just
on
good character stuff there.
On a manga guy?
Yeah, manga dude who
name,
I thought he died.
Great.
I thought he died as well. But
yeah.
Here's manga guy kicking and getting ready to do a little one-shot for Shonen Jump, it seems like. And that's cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations, manga guy. He's
got his dream back. He's ready to take it back over and work some more.
Was this the same agent guy that he broke his finger? Like, are they cool now?
Man, if he would come back after that would be one dedicated coworker.
That guy broke my finger, but I've never seen such gumption.
That's how much passion he has for manga.
I've been waiting my whole life for somebody to hurt me. But
gotta have some skin in the game and some broken
I imagine
bone.
he'd have to like present some sort of manga to him before we like take him take him on as someone to edit for.
He'll be like, hold on, Shonen Jump. I have this really good idea. So we got to fight this one demon guy, and we're going to keep sending like 15 different people, and nobody's going to beat him. And it's just all one fight for like a billion chapters. And it's going to be really good. And they'll be like, cool.
Here's the idea, Mr. Jump. The world's the oldest, the greatest sorcerer of the past is here to fight the greatest sorcerer of now.
And nobody's
There's
going to
also
agree
kinda
on
some
how it
Naruto
makes sense, but it's okay because we're going to sell merch of both of them, so it's fine.
Yeah, have you ever heard of cutting the entire world?
And we got some finger eating stuff for the weirdos out there.
But it's all fine because this one
This
page,
this part,
this
though.
single page makes everything worth it. And this is always what I'm talking about. I don't give a shit about how the world works. I just want to see my cool guys that I like being.
We've got
doing
Mr.
stuff.
Comedy here.
Mr. Comedy Man is
I
still
thought he
alive.
Died.
Yeah, I thought he died too. But turns out he didn't. And
But even
What
better
the
is
fuck?
who is with him.
Some dude
is
with a
that?
really cool hairstyle.
Yeah, some guy
That's
with
just
very
it. That's
specific
as
hair.
far as it goes.
Now,
I can
like-
definitely say I did not expect anything like that.
right?
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I don't think that is actually Kenjaku/Geto. Like I think the bit is he found someone like him. Like is my thought. Like I don't think it's actually him. I don't think we're going to have a last chapter. Also, he's still alive.
I think we are.
I think it
this
is-
is my copium.
I think this is
alive!
much more a metaphorical. Like he eventually found someone who could do comedy with him, and it was like when he did it with Kenjaku. So here's our visual shorthand of we're not going to bother introducing you to this guy. Just understand that he vibed with him like Kenjaku did.
I need you to
Look,
dog ear
you're-
this because I'm going to bring this up when we're done with this chapter here, baby. We got
Your-
one
your
chapter left. I'm
body-
in.
Your body was taken over, and we found your brain in the sewer. 6 years later, here we're just gonna plop it back in. You should be fine. Go do comedy.
Yeah, this could
Go
be.
make some jokes.
Yeah, this could be way in the far future. It's very true.
Gojo's dead, by the way.
Yeah, I have a game theory on this, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, just seeing that he's
All right.
alive and that they're kicking made me very happy. And then we got to wrap up for Sugar Fella and
Yeah,
you
I
remember
I
honestly
had
kind
to
of
look him
forgot
back
these
up because
two.
I did not remember him.
He was a bully.
But
Okay.
he was like just like not standing up to this guy's bullies is what happened. He
Okay.
was just like, oh, I'm gonna avoid the bullies because I don't want to get bullied for standing up for this guy.
Were they friends? I don't remember Sugar Man doing anything that wasn't.
I looked it up, and that's about all the information I was able to get. And Yuji stepped in at some point. Like I don't remember any of this,
I
but
don't either. But you got a little bit of
that's
that.
why he's apologizing. Is like, I didn't stand up for you when you were being bullied. And
Got
so I guess that means he's trying his best to not be a coward anymore, which is a great character arc, if I remembered him.
Exactly.
See, I was
He
gonna
was the
say
guy who was
I like
calling-
this kind of character stuff, but I feel bad because I genuinely like don't remember either of these characters.
I don't
like, at
either.
all. Like I take your word, and by your word I mean what you looked up because you also didn't remember.
Yep.
Do you remember
But
the
that is exactly
helicopter and
what's
jet
gotten
girl?
happened.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
helicopter head guy. Yeah, at least.
He called people falling down through the barrier whenever they were coming in. He was working with them at the beginning.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then after they got defeated, he saw Yuji and was like, "Oh, I actually know that guy. I'm gonna go say hi."
Yeah, his biggest moment to me was being the facilitator for the Yuta transplant.
Giving him some sugar.
We
Let him have
get
some snack.
this wrapped up here, and then
Now we got
He-
our lawyer
gonna
friend
remember?
who's retrialing.
yes, yeah, he wants
But,
to be a
Seems like
dude.
they're like the higher ups at Jujutsu headquarters are basically going, you don't get to be a lawyer anymore. You're gonna be a sorcerer now.
But weren't they dead?
Wait, yeah, who's the higher ups now?
Is it just guitar old man?
Gitaru Man.
Is it the
I think
squad
so.
we basically had talking about everything last chapter? Like the one teacher guy who's like the shadow style master now or whatever he said.
Yeah, that guy
Who's-
too. He's probably
So-
important now.
I'm terrible with names in this series. So
Fushigoro's the
hard for me
head
to-
of the Zenin clan. Who's the other two at this point?
Maki's the only one left of that with that, and then yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Was
I don't know.
Fushigoro technically the inheritor of the Gojo clan, because wasn't he also like, hey, you're basically gonna be the next in line thing? I thought, like, when Gojo basically adopted him. Or am
I thought he said that about
misremembering
Yuta and Zero, but I don't remember.
Maybe it was Yuta.
Huh.
But
The
either
whole
way,
clan
basically,
thing was very underbaked regardless. I don't know.
Yeah, we only got to see one of the clans, and then they died 3
and
chapters
then
later.
Maki
Yeah, they're
destroyed
all
them,
dead.
which was sick. It was one of my favorite parts.
It's great.
Okay, yeah. Other than the Gojo, it's because Kamo, the blood guy,
Yes, that's right.
Mm.
There's
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then Zenin, which is Fushiguro and Maki's clan,
yes,
and then Gojo, which is whoever the fuck Gojo is. I guess it's Yuta
yeah.
because he's part.
Yeah,
that.
Yuta seems like an actual direct relative, so he's probably the closest next to head as far as we've met anyway.
Yeah. As a representative of the surviving family, I'm gonna kick your butt. Who is this?
I think she's saying she was related to the judge or somebody that he killed in the.
Yeah, as
Oh
part
yeah,
of his
because he killed a
backstory.
bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
Got
and
it.
that's what he's wanting here. Is I think a trial.
I think
for
yeah,
that.
he's very like he's just accepting of the fact that he could like she's saying, okay, I'm gonna make sure you're found guilty, and he's like, okay, that sounds good
Got it.
because he does feel guilty for it, so it's
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's fine. And then his punishment is to be a badass sorcerer guy. And he'll be like, yeah, I guess I could do that. I would hate that.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's probably
Woe
like his
is me.
plea agreement.
Yeah, let's not forget that during the fight with Sukuna, they were like, oh yeah, he's like as good as Gojo if he had applied himself
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
sorcery or
Yeah,
something.
that was-
He's got the
So-
best aptitude ever in Jujutsu history.
Yeah, so
So it's just
Yeah, we
like
can't
40
let that
years of
talent go to
community
waste.
service in by way of being a sorcerer.
And then we get I thought this was Sukuna's mouth at the beginning, and it freaked me out, but it's Angel Girl's mouth. Angel Girl's angel mouth. I liked this little bit here. I like Angel Girl and Megumi getting a follow-up. The characters that I like. I like seeing them. And then his little thing here.
I forgot
something
that she had like lost an arm or something
Yeah.
or a hand.
Yeah, because when he did that crazy little mouth and bit her or whatever. And then saying from now on I'll be your right arm was cute. I like this little panel of her eye like freaking out like, when's the ceremony?
You want to always be by my side?
Yeah. It's
We're getting
Yeah, it's the mouth that's saying when's the ceremony, right? It's like
Yeah.
and
that's
like
Angel.
and making fun of him.
And then he mentions that, well, we have a mission, so we can figure that out later. And like, he's not as like, he definitely seems spaced out, but he's not as like Omega Depresso as I figured he would be after everything, which is
Yeah,
Which is nice.
it definitely gives me the vibe of someone who's just pushing through
Yeah.
the depression and still like trying to see the
He's
positive
dealing
of
with it.
everything.
yeah,
You ask how he is, he'd say, fine, and just leave it there.
yeah.
Also, like, we never learned what Angel's bit was, right? She just had a grudge against Sukuna and wanted him wiped. We never really found anything out about that, right?
I don't think so,
Not that I remember.
but I'm also,
She just identified him as the bad guy. What do you want?
yeah, I'm notoriously bad with this lore and world, so I wouldn't know even if I did know.
He wouldn't be sure, at least.
Then we get a fun little completely new scene here with some lady walking in on somebody, and then kind of
Yeah.
reminiscent of super early stuff with a little dude here at this little apartment, and he's got a wacky little curse face.
Whoa! Yeah, when we saw him from behind, at first I thought he was
The one principal guy.
no, I thought he was slot machine guy or whatever.
Oh,
or,
Hikari?
Pachinko guy. Like, I thought he had the two-toned hair or whatever.
No, I like this reveal a lot. This
But
was
yeah,
fun.
this was a goofy. Like, I also was like, is this Tengen? Like, is this what happened to?
Yeah.
No, this is fun. This honestly reminds me of Yu Yu Hakusho a lot because that started off with like just spirit detective stuff, which is basically this. It's just like finding, spirits and demons who are messing with everyday life and tracking them down and stopping them. And then at the end of Yu Yu Hakusho, after things went crazy, and Togashi wanted to end it, he just like skipped the final arc and then said, hey, we're going to do like 3 or 4 more chapters of just regular old spirit detective stuff to round out so we can probably sell another volume.
Yeah, it would be
Okay.
really awesome if Yuji went domain expansion and then this was the next chapter.
Yeah, I appreciate this, them getting a little classic roundup of like, hey, it's the whole gang together again.
The
and
old squad
Yeah.
solving crimes.
They gotta figure out what's wrong with this guy. And then I like this is what his girlfriend says he looks like. So he doesn't actually look like this. His girlfriend is just seeing something with him. And I like the her round eyes, super big, like old anime or a weird filter. Which is pretty funny. And then it's like, oh, is it me then? Like, hold on, let's figure that out. And then
Gotta examine your body.
this is all we have to go on before the last chapter.
The final chapter.
This is it. This is our last remnants of hypothesis theorizing.
Yeah,
All
after
right.
this, you can't theorize about Jujutsu Kaisen ever again.
So
Everything will be fact.
Slurp it up with your boba tea straw. Just like Ichiji said, the effect of the residuals are a little pesky. I doubt it's a cursed spirit. The main body of the cursed spirit isn't possessing anyone, but there are diluted residuals. Plus, the victim is experiencing minor difficulties. A cursed user is probably to blame, but there's no malice behind it. So I suspect a surviving culling game player of the awakened type. Of course, if a semi-grade 1 or higher cursed spirit is involved for some reason and just holding back, then a chase could result in damages, blah, 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 like the bridge. Cursed user stirring up trouble, that should be a cinch. There we go. So all we have to go on is that Fushiguro thinks that there's somebody from the culling game or somebody awakened behind the culling game is have to do this, or a cursed spirit is just fucking around for no reason.
Holding back for some reason.
Yeah. Why is this looking like? I hate this player.
Or it's Gojo, and he's gonna start the
There we
merge.
go.
Shut up!
Yeah, Gojo's,
All right, so that's what I'm getting to, Ben.
when I
Gojo's
heard
doing
you say
a
I've
fun
got a
little-
theory and all that stuff, I was
It's
like, I
always
know,
going to
I know.
somebody.
All roads point to Gojo.
Of course. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. All right, it's gonna be Gojo. You remember what happened when what's his face, crazy blood guy, died and came back as a wacky tobacco cursed spirit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you following the
Who?
logical
What?
train?
No.
Maki
When
killed
did
that
Chozo
guy.
dead?
Yeah. When Maki killed the one dude, but didn't kill him with sorcery, so he came back as a
Oh.
spirit.
Yeah,
The
Gojo
speed guy.
definitely.
Yeah, speed guy.
Okay.
Gojo definitely didn't get killed with cursed energy, did he?
No, he
It was
didn't.
just versus Sukuna.
No, they're just gonna make up a reason why that's gonna happen.
You know what? That is fair.
See, my thought is like, wasn't there like him saying it's like a sorcerer awakened from the calling game or whatever? I feel like this might be like, since we're leading into the last chapter, my thought could be like, this is going to reveal some sort of like something has shifted now in curse energy and sorcerers or something, like a dynamic has changed, like the world is different, like because it was like what the birth of Gojo like amped up
Yeah,
like,
everything had to
after
get
that.
stronger because of him.
Yeah. And now he's gone. Like that is like that, like theoretically, presumably. So now that balance like would be shifted. So it's either we have to replace him with another like suddenly superborn super like sorcerer, or like my thought is that this is going to be like the ending is basically going to be kind of everybody can do sorcery now somehow. Like this is like humanity has evolved to some way because of the events of the calling game and the Sukuna Gojo fight. Like the scales have tipped in some way, and this is that being led into is my theory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have like a concrete roadmap,
No, that's
but
a
I think
vibe.
it's
I get
something
what you're putting down.
along those lines. Like it's just like we're going to like the last chapter is going to be this is a weird spirit phenomenon, we can't figure it out, or it's just like, oh, it's this baby in the next room is doing this and it has no idea why or how because it's the next Gojo or something. Or
Yes,
like,
that's like
along those lines.
that's what if it's not like him, it is somebody with the 6 eyes or something, which I would hate because then that confirms that he's dead. So I'm hoping it's not that, and I'm just gonna keep coping that we didn't see him actually die. The American military actually cut Gojo with a giant knife, a real one, not a spirit knife.
It was a real knife, not a magic sorcery knife.
And that's why he came back as a wacky cursed spirit. But because he's so strong, he's not a bad guy. He's a cool guy. And then he's gonna do a comedy routine with his best friend after they
he's gonna
make
have
out.
super spirit comedy.
They're gonna make out and they're gonna fuck on stage, and then I'm gonna be happy, and then Jujutsu Kaisen will finally be good.
All right, here's my theory. It's going to be disappointing, and and what it's going to do is They're just gonna fight a curse spirit user from the clone game, just a rando.
Just a rando.
They're gonna beat him easily.
Wow,
and then they're
there
all gonna
was the
pose
last
together in a big 2-page spread, and the vibe of it's just gonna be, and so they continued having their adventures forever and ever. Goodbye.
This was truly our
this
Jujutsu
was
Kaisen.
this was our Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, that seems to be the trend of endings for manga right now. I'm gonna go with that. I'm hedging my bets. I'm playing the safe game.
All right, mine is a Gojo Geto make out fuck session. What is your bet, Tyler?
All right.
I think Gojo's dead and gone forever. Everyone keeps texting Gege how big that dick, and he's just wanting to reply small.
I could also see this setting up for what was the ending for the show Supernatural, where they do all the crazy big stuff, and then it's just a run of the mill everyday mission that gets them killed. So it's just like
There should be a
that's great.
cinch, and then they die, and then he dies surrounded by friends, just like they said.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I would also be happy with that. Like it's just
That's a perfect combination of all of our assumptions.
Yeah,
except for the
go-
Gojo part.
It's not a cursed spirit at all. It's just some knife-wielding maniac, and they get killed and turned into cursed spirit.
No, and then that's when after we zoom out all of this, and Yuji,
And then new Gojo reincarnated comes and kills them.
yes, and
destroys
reincarnated
the
Gojo
planet.
comes in, and then Yuji does domain expansion, and then when you flip the page, it's just a mirror. Just a reflection of you, okay? Because you were the domain the whole time.
Yeah, the last,
Because you are
the very
my
last
special.
page is made of reflective paper, or if you're reading it digitally, it turns on your camera, and it just has Yuji just going, "It's the ugliest cursed spirit we've seen yet. It's so terrible, I want to die, and so I will, and I'll give up sorcery forever." The end.
Yeah, let's all hope that it does that, or something equivalent.
I don't know how true it is, but I saw a post saying, "Hey, there's a Jujutsu Kaisen movie in the works that like covers when Gojo's a kid, like whenever those 3 assassins come and see him,
Okay.
and it's just like him just establishing, hey, I'm the shit."
We get to see Gojo become the legend.
I
feel
don't
like
want
there's
that
also
to happen, because then that means that it's real. It means it's real that he's done. If they do a sequel movie,
A retrospective.
no, a sequel movie where it's
don't need to do a
still one
sequel
of him
movie. We
being
don't
alive and him being really cool, then that
Well,
would
see,
be a
that's-
good movie.
Now that's the next big question. I feel like a lot of people are throwing around the idea that this is just leading up to Jujutsu Kaisen Shippuden or whatever, or like, part 2. I guess I have no reason to feel this way, but I kind of don't. I don't think that's where this is going.
I don't think so
and,
either.
And
Yeah.
I feel like I would be a little disappointed if that is kind of where we're going. Like, not that I'm like, this definitely has to end, but I feel like announcing an ending to go into the continuation of your story just feels like a cheap move. If you're going like, Jujutsu Kaisen's over, so we can start Jujutsu Kaisen 2, like, just feels like a real crummy marketing slip and not a meaningful story decision. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree with you. Although there is something in the water that doing fake out announcements, it seems to be doing pretty good. So you announce that you're quitting, and then go, surprise, I'm not quitting.
Wouldn't be the
When does that
first
happen?
artist to pull that.
Like I'm wondering if it's just like I thought that's what happened for My Hero. I still kind of think it will, but someone else is just going to take over the Jujutsu world, and they're going to make the Boruto of Jujutsu. So it's
Yeah.
not a proper sequel, but it's just going to live on forever through someone else.
Your favorite thing, Ben?
My favorite thing. I
I
love
think
when that
it'll
happens.
always get merchandise. Like every fucking Halloween, there's going to be a new acrylic stand of Gojo as a different thing. And
Sign me
a
up.
different coffee shop thing that they're doing in Japan. But I don't think they're going to do a new series or this become the new zombie series. At least I hope.
Depends.
I'm praying. I'm putting my
Depends on how well season 3 does.
Anyways, this chapter gets a readie for me exclusively because of this.
Because of the
Because
weird
of what this-
Kenjaku return.
the
thing.
I just
Patience.
needed one panel. This whole chapter could be this panel, and I'd be like, gold, classic. It's fine.
Yeah,
This
that's
chapter
wild.
also gets a readie from me. I like kind of just seeing where all of our this feels like the wrap up chapter I was basically expecting last chapter to be, where it's like, let's kind of check in with everybody after the fight and see what they're doing.
Yep.
But I'm into it.
I'll give it a readie as well. It's just good. It's fine. All that good
Yeah.
stuff.
I'll give it a ready too. It's very cozy. It's a nice, cozy wrap-up chapter.
Yeah, this is what I wanted last chapter to be. I'm happy that we got it. I just wish we had these moments with people that I remembered more of.
Yeah.
I wish all the characters that were in the last chapter were doing fun things like this instead of talking about stupid shit. But who knows? We have another chapter left, and they're going to fix every problem, and it's going to be the best.
Well, when the next
Absolutely.
chapter is all about the Shadow School and why it was really important for us to go through all that stuff.
It's going to be explaining exactly how Kenjaku's remains are able to still keep up the barrier.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we solved that. Let's move on to Kagurabachi.
Bam! Kagurabachi.
I thought this chapter was pretty fun though.
Yeah, this was really
because
fun.
we got a new character introduction. He's so far a lot more interesting than Uraha, so I'm appreciating it.
I'm already blanking on his name, but I
remember it because it's samurai with one letter removed.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's
Samurai.
Yeah.
This first panel got me all excited because I thought we were going to get a flashback for the war.
I thought so
like,
too.
Like when I saw that, I was like, "Ooh!" We're not like they leave us off the last chapter, making me think it's going to be a fight, but then we're just going to jump in and kind of like go deep on a war flashback. Okay, and then it's like, no, actually, we're talking about it. Don't worry about it.
I keep theorizing the war is like going to become more relevant and shoot the story off into a new direction. So we're not ready for that yet.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I think they're going to bring the war up when they're ready to pivot from the Blade stuff to like whatever new arc it is.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
it is nice. They're definitely keeping it like keeping that question present. They want you to be wondering about that.
Yes, I like the flashback here. Anytime we like, this is such a brilliant writing thing. If you're an aspiring writer, always have a nebulous window that you can keep flashing back to. Because every time we get shit with his dad, like you could just be making this shit up on the fly, and I would never know.
Instantly intrigued.
I'm just like, ooh, sure.
Yeah.
Any flashback with the dad, I'm curious to see more about.
Yeah, you got like 15 years of nothing, of you don't know what happened there, so it works.
And we get the little fun little character bit here going like, oh no, you think I'm a hero, but the heroes were the people who risked their lives to wield my swords. And so that helps establish Chihiro's motivation of like, no, these people, my dad really cared about these people. I care about them just as much as him. Get that resolve firmly established, which is good. And then we have cashing in on the plan here with Hakuri and Uruha going like, okay, we're headed to the other temple. One of the other temples that we established, one of the other guys was at.
Senkutsuji.
So we're going to go do all that. We get to see a fun little, I think he refers to it as a mandala effect on the train platform.
Speaking of mandala effects, we did. I do want to apologize. We apparently skipped over a chapter. All of us. Fully believing
we collectively
that we talked about
forgot. Yeah, that we did not talk about
The
chapter.
best chapter in
47.
Kagurabachi, we totally forgot to talk about.
Please welcome us to this new universe. We just came over, and we'll do our best to not shift again for a good while.
Yeah. I hope this is the one where Super didn't happen. I'm praying for that one.
Yeah, they just made GT2. It's great.
At some point we're gonna get there. Keep jumping.
I think the summary of that last of that chapter that we missed was just like, those bodyguards were better than we thought they were.
Yeah.
And
And
those
now
guys
they're
who
dead.
came were actually better than they thought they were too.
Yeah, and like I had whole things I remember talking about it, but I can't find the
Yeah.
video. So
Me too.
anyways,
So weird. I guess
We
I just
did.
like read it and thought I'm gonna say this when we do read here.
but I remember
When we
somebody
talk about
like
it.
one or two of you brought up like, oh, smoke axe sounds cool. Like one of you said that, and I was like,
I
yeah,
think you're conflating when we were doing the what's his name?
not
The
paper
first
crane. It was smoke axe.
the first big fight where they introduce like these guys who Chihiro instantly kills. And I think
No
you're
way.
maybe conflating
No,
it with
I'm
that
not.
memory.
I don't forget anything, Grant.
All right. It's
Pointing-
also, yeah, it's way more likely that we are in a slightly shifted universe than you mistakenly remembered something. That is way more likely.
Yeah, it is way more
Yes, I'm
likely
glad
than
you
all
agree.
of us
Okay.
misremembering. Yes. Okay. So we get a little teleporty thingy here. This is how we ended up at this universe, by the way. And so we get them just, these are two survivors from the other hideout thingy.
They're coming from
yes.
Tsukuchiji Temple, as far as I remember, and they're gonna teleport them back.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I think you're right. People from the squad, they're just more cops. The cops are here. They're teleporting out.
Yeah.
More sword cops.
And then they go to Senkutsuji Temple, which is going to be our fun new location, it seems like. up in the mountains.
Yep.
And then we get our first introduction of Samura, who's at this
Daredevil.
literally Daredevil.
Yeah.
And he's out here sniffing. He's got 2 giant scars on his eyes and his sunglasses and a cigarette. And I'm like, ooh, this is a cool guy. I like this cool guy.
Man, even with
Cool
a
guy,
cigarette,
pretty
he can
cool.
still like catch a whiff of you and know who you are. Like I would think that would like, blur all of your
Yeah.
senses.
If I
having
had
a
super
cigarette in your
duper
face.
senses, I would be imbibing in everything because then it's super duper potent.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, yeah. I
Just
can get
normal
that.
ass
Well-
Marlboros are like fucking top tier shit to this guy.
Well, it might be a thing where he needs to smoke because it creates like a
A barrier?
a base, like a white
Yeah.
noise for him to catch other scents through. Whereas if it's just
Numbs my
the air, everything's on the wind, and it's just like a barrage of sound or sights to him.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, I imagine if you could super smell, like you would just. There's a lot of things that would be very unpleasant to be
Can
around.
somebody update the wiki?
Yeah, just this assumption of how it works is plenty of information. Like, just cite this as the source. It's fine. This
Mhm.
video.
And I like this
But-
panel here of him sniffing, big sniffer
Yeah.
right here. I don't think you get a lot of good nosular action in manga. Usually they have very
Pronounced nostrils, very rare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from an artist
look at that guy.
perspective,
I got
noses are so hard to get right that's why anime's defaulted to tiny little dots. It's because the less of it you show, the less of it you can get wrong.
yeah.
Humans are very good at detecting things wrong with noses more than anything else in the face. It's really weird.
It's right in the
That
middle, man.
surprises me. I would think it would be eyes.
No,
You'd
you can
think.
you would think, but like you can have eyes flipped upside down and you wouldn't notice it.
Probably.
There's like that whole little meme of somebody taking somebody's eyes and flipping them upside down and like you don't notice it.
Yeah.
And then
I
he's
love that he feels
like,
up everyone's
puts-
faces.
we got Samura putting his face on Hakuri. Like, who is this guy? You stink like Chihiro, but
Like
you ain't
Chihiro.
him. Great expression too of him coming out here going.
It's like, I'm his friend. Please stop sniffing me and touching my face.
And then we get a fun little flashback of Chihiro and Mr. Shiba going to a fun little festival, and I like the established thing here of Rokuhiro going, no, like don't sit at home, like go have fun, blah blah blah. So we
Yeah.
might have
All
other
work and no
opportunities to
play,
flash back to those.
Chihiro.
I'm a secret, not you. You can go live your life.
Yeah. And then walk in like this. It's
Yeah.
such a good panel. I love him just walking up with his hand right on the
That'd
sky.
be the first thing you do to everyone you see is just great. With no introduction, no, hey, do you mind if I check your face real quick? Just, it's fine.
He smelled you. He knew who you were.
But he just wanted
Yeah,
to feel then. He knew,
Yeah,
he
but-
just wanted to.
But he wanted to have that old familiar face touch.
Listen, Shiba moisturizes more than anybody he knows, right? She's real
Yeah.
good.
His hand slips right off.
And then
He's blind, but his other senses are extremely sharp. He sees a world on fire.
this is where we get the first introduction with him and Chihiro. And then I didn't even notice this until just now that this is him tilting his head,
Yeah, he's just
sniffing around.
he's a freaking dog, man.
Yeah, he's doing
That's
his
good.
detective work by smell.
And then continuing the bleach mouths here. This is an incredibly bleach face. And he's saying that he reeks of Rokuhira. So never imagined he'd have a kid, but that's definitely him. And then we get the reminder of the exchange saying that, oh, you're the hero according to my dad. And then he's like, nah, all I
He's
did was
the
pick up the
hero.
sword. He's the cool guy.
That's great. Like chapters like this, especially week to week, it's nice to see the authors like putting in the effort to like make sure each chapter is kind of distinct in its own way. They have a setup and payoff like this. It just makes the story more enjoyable week to week rather than just like a long unbroken scene that you can only read like 5 minutes worth every single week.
Yeah, this is like, I think Kagurabachi in particular is really good about saying this chapter is going to be about this concept, and we're going to wrap up a little bit of that like in this chapter along with making progress towards like a bigger goal. Like I think it really does set that up very well.
It is kind of just the ideal way to do things, and that doesn't happen all the time with all these serialized manga, so we got to appreciate it because it's very well done.
Yeah. And then everybody thinking that this guy's creepy, and I think they're just making fun of a blind person, and I'm not about it, Mr. Shiba.
Yeah, wow. Way to be ableist.
And then was like, oh yeah, I get it why he doesn't talk about you, because those crazy Kamunabi guys, probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then I just love his design. He's a cool guy. I really hope he doesn't die like very soon.
I love this little
me-
joke here of him saying, "I'd love to see him again," and the next shot with Hakuri's like reaction of just an ellipses of like,
Oh, hold on.
like
died.
I'd love to see him again, just like you're blind. Like-
His design is almost 1-to-1 Billy's from Undead.
Oh yeah, very similar. I didn't pick up on that. I just didn't think of Billy there, but that is very much the same. So once we get to Undead Unluck in the distant future, we'll we'll have some comparisons there for sure.
Then we see the crazy gang is outside already to pounce as soon as they get there.
They've already got their magic rock guns.
Yeah, and we got to see a little panel of them holding the explodey magic rock, so we know that they're gonna do all that crazy shit. And then we get introduced to this next, I'm assuming will be the next big conflict thing, is that Hakuri is still injured from the fight, and then there's a little Healy lady person here,
Yep.
ready to go like, okay, we're gonna do a little treatment because we gotta speed this thing up. They're already here. So
Yep.
Yeah,
It's going
we
to take a
gotta
few
go.
days, but we need it, the swords now.
and we get flashing back to Chihiro fighting. Forget this dude's name already. I think they had a name.
Did they say their name? I don't
They had a
remember.
name, but I don't remember.
Might have said their name
Blood
last
crane
chapter, but I do not
person,
remember. Yeah,
you know.
user of blood cranes.
And then mentioning that, like, oh, you sure you made the right call leaving those guys there? You got 2 people there with no sword. There's gonna be a lot of dead people. And then we already see them attacking, and Hakuri's like supposed to be relaxing, ready for this treatment. It's like, oh shit. And then Uruha saying, hey, it's cool. It's way better security here than Kokugoku where I was. And then he's saying, oh, if only I were as strong as him, we wouldn't have lost a single life. This awesome little, they're
Yeah.
really building up Samura to be the big
Yeah,
shit.
it's gonna be a
he's,
real
like,
shame when he's
just the
defeated
most skilled, or at least extremely skilled amongst the sword wielders, like just with a regular sword.
My
Yeah.
dad talked fondly of him.
And then we get to see that 30 minutes is all it's going to take to recover Hakuri's power. Was only going to take a couple days. Now it's going to be 30 minutes. We got to go. Hold them off for 30
That's a
minutes.
countdown.
And he's like,
Yep.
gotcha. And him ready with the sword and everything. And I'm so excited. Every time I read
Yeah.
Kagurabachi, it's like it doesn't cross my mind actively whenever I think about things to tell people that I'm reading or what I think is cool. But every time I read it, I'm like, fuck yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It really
It's a
knows
lot
how
of
to
fun.
like to pace itself and to like kind of basically always start and stop on a good, like exciting, like, ooh, I want to keep going. Like, so I'm
Yeah, it's
I'm
the
digging
one to
it.
keep going, but it's also that satisfaction. So you're okay with putting it down for a sec because you have to, because it's weekly. But it's nice. It's very well done. I'm starting to wonder next chapter or in the coming couple chapters if one of those 2 is going to die. Though we've now got 2
Right?
sword bearers working together, and that
the
seems
good
like a
guys
lot
are
of sword
stacking
bearers
up a
in a
little
room
too
together.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like they are building up to one or both of these dying. Like somebody has to die, it feels like. And
I wonder. It doesn't have to be either of these guys, but with how fast this is going, I wonder if one of these sword bearers is going to flip like
Okay.
side.
I could see that. We have that other sword bearer who can like possess
I
people
wonder
too.
because so far we've seen Chihiro's dad being kind of like this flawless figure, only seeing his good sides from the past and all this stuff. And he said like he gave the swords to people he specifically trusted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be the very first time we'd see a flaw in him, which I'm not against, but I'm also not entirely certain that there would be someone that flips if Chihiro's dad is the one who chose them, you know?
But there's that one guy under containment who's a little crazy psycho or whatever.
That is true.
Yeah, we don't know the dude who I've already blanked on it, but the sword that the whole auction was over.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, war changed him. He was cool before the war
Shinuchi.
when he
There
first
we
got
go.
the sword.
Yeah, Shinuchi.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I
Then
like
the-
this
the
because like
war made him mad.
we're also like the glimpses we get of Chihiro's dad are all kind of like, yeah, he seems like a real good solid dude, and I do believe that. but I feel like him being very quick to be like, I'm no hero. It's the guys who were out there putting their neck on the line. Like, and then them being so quick to be like, nah, he's the hero is like, well, one of you is lying. Like, someone's going to
They
be.
don't have to be lying.
I don't think that's
they
the
can
case.
Just, they
I
can just
think
be
they could be
nice.
lying.
Well,
They're
not
just
like
being
lying,
humble.
but like one of you's going like I feel
It's-
like you don't immediately discount how good you are if you've only done good things.
I kind of think the opposite. I think
just being humble.
there's kind of an axiom where truly good people don't see it as a big deal when they're good.
Okay. I'm just thinking I'm ready for the reveal that Chihiro's dad has some skeletons in his closet. He's like, no,
I
I'm
feel
no
like
hero.
that
I'm
would
ready
be
for
very
that, too.
compelling, and so I'm ready for it. But I just don't think that this is an that back and forth
That's
is an
fair.
indication of it.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Anyways,
I'm
Reedy.
just reading it into it. But yes, very much Reedy.
Absolutely, Reedy. This was a very fun chapter. Like I said, Uraha's was kind of bland, so I'm glad we've got a sword bearer with a lot of personality to him.
Yeah, it's
so
been
I'm
like-
looking forward to seeing it.
It's been like 3 chapters and we're already to another guy. Like we just got introduced to Uraha and now it's like,
Yeah.
bam, here's another guy. Like, holy fuck, we're zooming.
I really
Yeah.
thought that the last chapter ending with like Chihiro taking the dude out of the train was going to basically be like, all right, those two are going to be heading to what the next arc is going to be about.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
fight for 4
Like,
chapters or
yeah.
so, and
Now
then
we've
we'll
got our
catch up
big
with
ass
them.
fight with Chihiro and this guy, and it's just going to be a crazy one-on-one psycho sword fight.
Yeah.
But now I feel like we're going to maybe be setting up for a fun. We're going to be cutting back and forth between these 2 big fights, is my guess.
Yeah. I
Sounds about right.
love parallel like mirrored fights thing. Fucking Revenge of the Sith fight, best thing ever put to film. I love anytime that happens. It's such a fun trope in my mind, and I wonder if something will happen with, because we've already seen like a thing we kind of just randomly kind of glazed over. Like another person can teleport. Like he has to like
Yeah.
use Sharpie on the floor, but teleportation is not just a Mr. Shiba thing. So is that
true.
gonna come into
It
it
require-
somehow?
it
Yeah,
definitely
but if you go
requires more
back to that,
setup,
it cost
though, you
him
know?
4 or 5 Sharpies. So how many Sharpies is it going to cost them to keep
Well, luckily there's
teleporting?
the
Little did we
Sharpie
know.
samurai.
And they're gonna get dizzy every time they do it because of all the smell off the Sharpie.
Well, here's the thing. We're going to be like, oh, we could get out of here if only we had a Sharpie. But there's no Sharpies around. Everything's bad. And so Hakuri remembers that one time his brother tortured him with a Sharpie, and it falls out of his fucking pocket dimension.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's
There
a
you
Sharpie.
go.
But I'm
Which-
thinking Hakuri's gonna, this fight with Chihiro and this other guy is gonna last longer than I expect it to be. So I guess I'm expecting it to. Anyways, and then Hakuri's gonna be fixed in that time, and it's gonna
Yes.
teleport Chihiro
To him.
to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
thinking
okay,
that too.
yeah.
I definitely see Hakuri getting his power back partway through this fight being a big like shift, but I could see it going like this is what has me so excited is I can see this going like multiple ways and all of them like make me giddy with like, oh man, that'd be cool. Cause like one of them is like, all right, we know he can like, you know, do the like, what is it? Like because he's touched Chihiro's spirit energy or whatever, he can like he's been registered to his, you know, his storehouse or however it works. And so like that's their big plan for getting the swords quickly. But like if there's something along the lines of like, you know, everyone can recognize Chihiro by his, you know, dad's like, you know, reminding him of his dad or whatever. If there's some layer of like, you know, we got an interference and now I have accidentally warped to a different sword or something because I thought it was you, but it
Ooh.
was like because you and your dad have similar energies or something, or
That would
you
be
know,
a fast way to speed this up if he warps in the wrong thing or something.
yeah, like
That would
it's
be
just
a
like,
good
uh-oh,
wrinkle.
we have like now, like we thought this was going to be the big, everything's going to get better for us, but because it's Hakuri and he's still kind of new to this, we've actually just made this way worse.
I teleported Shinichi guy here, and he's
Yeah,
murdered
what?
basically everybody.
That'd be good.
Yeah, bunch of angles, bunch of things that could happen. Whatever it is, I know it'll be fun because everything else has been so fun so far.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, we're still in the setup of this arc, so it's just kind of hard to tell where it's going to go. But I'm excited for it.
It's always one of those things where every time we get to like a new thing in Kagurabachi, I'm just like, damn, they're zooming faster
They're
than I
really
expected.
going, huh?
But this is like the whole thing. Like this is the big like story
The
This is the
premise is
main
getting these
plot,
swords,
yeah.
and we've just gotten 2 of them, basically.
But I don't know. They got all the Dragon Balls in like 20 chapters, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we're gonna have a big tournament after this, and it's gonna really change the whole pace and tone of the show.
We're
There
gonna
we
go to Magic Sword High School.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
My sword power is to remove everybody else's sword powers unless they finish my curriculum.
That's the strongest foe.
Chihiro, you all your life you trained under the sword, but you never learned how to do 7th grade math.
You can only best me if you learn how to do long division. Plenty of fun stuff that could happen. Kagurabachi, always a treat. Yeah.
Always fun.
Damn,
Big
Jujutsu
fan.
Kaisen's ending next week, and the whole reason we started this, we can basically stop it after that.
Yeah, we just wanted to theorize about Jujutsu Kaisen all day long, but it turned out Jujutsu Kaisen wasn't going to last.
Someday we'll have more for our weekly roundup. So we'll
It'll just be the Kagurabachi
Yeah,
show.
wow, actually, yeah, I didn't think about that. After next week, Kagurabachi is going to be the only thing we're current on. But
maybe we should just like start one of those mangas
Well,
that
we
just
can. We
released
can
and has
start
only one or
one.
two chapters. That I mean,
They're
Hakutaku. I actually skimmed through that just before we started, and that's about like making a video game, as far as I could tell.
Oh,
So
shit.
that might be kind of fun.
That could be fun. Yeah.
I hear good things. I read the first chapter of Ichi the Witch,
Yeah,
and I
Ichi
thought it
the
was fine,
Witch,
but
yeah.
people seem to really like that. So.
Each of the Witch
Ichi the Witch is about to be a boy. He's a magic boy in an all-girls school.
oh,
Like,
whoa.
only women can be magicians in this world, and so finally men get something for once.
Finally.
Not that
Great
that should
to
be
be
the takeaway. I hear it's
Great to
it's
be a
like,
dude.
I think there's a lot more to it than that, but it's just funny to put it that way.
Yeah, One Piece. You guys have to do your One Piece talk-alongs, and then I'll be there and go like, well, have you
Well,
considered
One
the
Piece
alien?
on break next week. Well, no, why not?
We're gonna force Kieran to read One Piece at some point. It might take a while, but we'll try.
But think about how many chapters of Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi we could read in that time.
You could
Definitely read all of them.
all 13 chapters. Yeah.
We could read them. We could read each chapter 100 times, and One Piece would be just about caught up with us.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe we should pick another one for next week. I don't know. Is there one that
Like,
do you want to call that
Okay,
now? Or do you wanna
here's
wait?
here's an idea. How about we've got 3 very new manga. We've got Hakutaku, Shinobi Undercover, and Ichi the Witch. What if we try reading all 3 of them, since it's only like
and
6
we give
chapters?
them a ready or a
And
not.
Ooh, okay.
And we give them
yeah.
a ready or not, and whichever one gets the most readies will follow week to week.
Continue.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
I'm down.
Are we limited to the number of readies? Do I only get 2 readies?
get
I need to
2.
have one
You
not.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I guess
everybody
we'll-
gets two of the 3.
Okay,
Your
let's
maximum.
try
Nothing
that.
says
yeah.
you have to give 2. You can
Yeah,
only
you can give
give
all
You can give none
nots.
if you want.
You
Just a
only get
maximum of 2
readies?
readies. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
let's make a game out of it. Let's do it.
All right, sure. So next
All right.
week we're gonna read all the first the pilot chapters of Hakutaku Shinobi
Yeah, so
Undercover
are we just
and Ichi
reading
the Witch.
one chapter of each,
Oh,
or
I
getting
thought we
caught
were
up on
reading
each?
like
Oh, do you wanna read the whole
every-
thing?
Getting caught up. It's what 6 chapters total. That should be easy enough, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So just for the homework nerds out there to know what to do for next week, be current on Kagurabachi, be current on Jujutsu Kaisen, get up to chapter 50 on Dan. Read
No,
chapter
put that
1
on the
of
shelf. I'm gonna say wait on that one. This will be I think the next thing that we do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So we'll
um,
Don pause pause.
Yeah.
I know, speaking for myself and Kieran, we just haven't had much time. Like I
Yeah.
would not have been able to finish Don to Don if we had, if everyone
Had
else
done
said
that
let's do
today,
it this
yeah.
week. Yeah. So let's give ourselves a break from having to read too much. But I think
Okay.
those 3 should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into
Take
that.
maybe
1
like
and
that.
2 of
that.
Hakutaku, 1 through 3 of Shinobi Undercover, and 1 through 4 of Ichi the Witch.
Oh yeah, because there'll be a new
'Cause
chapter
there'll be new
next
chapters.
week. Okay. Yeah, that seems like it should be manageable though.
And then that'll be the back half of us talking about all that shit.
I'm
Nice.
down with that.
Okay. Well, there we go. We'll do that, and then next, tentatively, I think we want to do these on Monday for when we do get current with Dawn to Dawn. That drops on Monday, so just
Yeah.
make that easier. So next
Yeah.
Monday,
So we are going to be shooting for Mondays
the
like this.
30th.
Yeah, this week was a little different just because Kieran's got people coming in, family visiting, and birthday plans, and all kinds of stuff. So we just had to back things up a little bit.
But we're shooting for Mondays from now on.
Hakutaku, Jujutsu,
I like it.
Kagurabachi, Ichi the Witch, Shinobi Undercover. Do it all
Do it.
Read!
or not. Bye.
Good times. Zone.